Welcome to Global Affairs Network. I'm your host, Malik Lenzanzo. Today we have a wonderful show. But before that, just want to say something about today's event. It's a new day. We have a new president, and we have the vice president, which is somebody who graduated from Howard University. So HU in the house. We are celebrating today. It's a beautiful day. It's a new beginning for America. So if you are an HU Howard University graduate and you probably live in Atlanta, uh, I think you have to stick around because we have another amazing woman. They call her Miss Smiley. She's a coach, and she's in a mission to reorganize you. She want to reorganize your mind and give you some advice and coach you to make sure that you live in a happy life. So we have Miss Smiley in the house. Welcome, Miss Smiley. Welcome to the show. We're so proud to have you on this particular day. I don't know if you watched the inauguration, but what a good feeling and to just have a first woman, African American, and the South Asian woman vice president of this United States of America. What a feeling! It's a good day for women, right?
It is a great day. I think everybody's proud in their own special way. Definitely a great day for women, a great day for the U.S. I'm here in
Yes.
Georgia, so you are welcome. We did our
So
job.
there's no regret for your boy Donald Trump. You don't miss him.
Who? Who?
Don't know who.
Oh no, I
Mr.
think all
Trump is
2020
gone.
was
Bye bye. Somebody would say bye, boy.
bad.
I mean, it's amazing. Listen, I know right now most people connected. They would just want to know, what Miss Smiley what she had to say. And I'm so glad you come on the show because most of us, especially in our community, people have issues, and often people don't seek help. And nowadays, there's no excuse because we have people, professionals like yourself. And I know you're not doing this just for the sake of doing this. You qualify, you probably already been certified. This is the kind of information you're going to give us as we continue this show. But I know you know what you're doing. Now, my first question on the top of this conversation is, I mean, why being coach? Why you choose this? Give us a little bit of your background. I mean, how you get into this coaching business.
Well, first of all, thanks for having me. Yes, I'm enjoying this historic day and this interview. I got into this after my own mental health journey. Thank God my mother was the type to make sure that we were getting help whenever we were needing it, especially growing up. I was that kind of quiet child she couldn't figure out. And as I got older, I really think anybody over 25 needs to go to therapy. I think a lot of the past generations that raised us did the best that they could with the knowledge that they had. But if we tell the truth, a lot of it was very damaging. And so we were brought up on a lot of misguided truths and we lived our life according to it. And so we have a lot of adults running around with chaos that they were unfortunately taught. So I did my own mental health journey. I went to therapy for 4 months straight, and I found an African American therapist, and she was also a single mother. And so for me, the relatability was there. I think minorities do not have a lot of representation in so many places. And so when we do actually seek mental health help, we don't have a lot of us to go to. So when I got done with my 4 months, she asked me had I ever thought about being a therapist, but I had been thinking about being a coach. And for me, coaching is more personal. So I am able to have a different kind of session with my clients, which is a lot more fun, a lot more laid back, kind of like even the conversation we're having today, where you're just having a good time and you're still solving problems. So getting people mentally reorganized, as you said, is the first step, I believe, to just getting people back to their happy. And so for us in African American, we need more of us. And so I work with everybody, but I
Okay,
definitely
that's what I was trying to get into. You probably cater to us. Do you cater just to a specific demographic, or you're open to everybody? Because this is everything that touches human mind. We all suffer from the some situations. So, what is your audience?
I work with anybody that is willing to do the work. So I want to be clear. I'm not specific. I take care of my people, but I do work with anybody who's willing to do the work. And I think that that's the difference. People don't really understand. I'm not a therapist. And so when I coach, I get down to business and I am trying to solve problems as quickly as possible. So I work with people who actually want to get in, are tired of the way things have been going, and actually want to do the work and the homework because they can sit home with homework too. But I work with anybody within my particular fields that I've decided to coach under.
So, you understand clearly what would be, because people are watching this and they're probably wondering, and I'm glad you the pinpoint on that, because there's a lot of confusion going around between a
Right.
therapist and a coach,
Mhm.
a life coach like you are.
Right.
And it looks like there's a little stuff that you guys do similar, but there's a difference.
Right.
Can you speak a little bit more on that so that people can understand exactly what to expect?
Sure. So I'm gonna speak for my practice and the way that I work, and just to be clear, because every coach is different. We have some therapists that started coaching, so they have the background and the schooling and have gone to school for psychology, psychiatry for years. However, myself, I am a coach, so I'm very blunt. I get straight to the point and I don't babysit feelings. So people who are at a state where they are still very emotional and are wanting to kind of work through the sensitivity of it probably want to go to a therapist first. The people who are a little emotional but are ready to get down to business, get gut punched, and start to actively do things differently, those are more of the clients that I work with.
So you get straight to the point. You don't babysit.
Correct.
So, most people will come with a. Is this a way for you to say I'm not a therapist, because you know what, you don't want somebody to come with an entire package, the emotional issues that need actually the doctor. So your job is just to what, accompany the person, trying to understand how you can help. To what extent? I mean, I just want to know exactly a little bit better. uh,
Okay.
let's see. You already know most men don't like to, be vulnerable
Mhm.
and tell, go and seek help to people like yourself. Let's
Right.
see that I have some, issues, anxiety right now. If you're a black man in America, and this is not just a black male situation, but if
Right.
you're a black man in America at this particular time in our history of our country, given this pandemic, you already know if people suffer once, you would suffer twice. It's like the impact in our community is always greater for already those issues that we already have. If a man come to you, I feel anxiety because I probably can find job. What are you gonna do,
Nothing to do.
Miss
Well,
Smiley?
I do talk about feelings. So we do discuss how people feel. But once we discuss how people feel, we're going to discuss what to do about it. So a lot of times people have to understand you think thoughts first and then you feel the feelings from the thoughts that you're thinking. So a lot of people don't even deal in reality of their thoughts. So anxiety is actually healthy. Anxiety tells you things are important. And so you're telling me you're having anxiety from different elements. I would walk you through why these things are important, therefore, why you're having anxiety. And then we would walk through how to deal with them better on a daily basis. For instance, the example I give a lot of my clients is anxiety is that new mom or dad who checks the car seat 3, 4 times because now this is important. So anxiety and worry are not things to be shunned, but they are to be redirected. And this is where the mental reorganization comes in as something important. So we have to discover, why are you having anxiety? Is it you're driving down the street and you know the cops are really antsy in your neighborhood? Is it that you've been harassed before? Now we're dealing with PTSD and how to get a little bit more calm with the PTSD. Is it that you've seen so many videos on social media and we need to decide, okay, well, it's time to take a social media break, or you need to unfollow some pages. So I try to quickly give you realistic actions to do to per se fix or adjust what you're coming in for.
I see. You know, but sometimes also, it can be anxiety. It can also be loneliness. Most people feel lonely, and if you feel lonely, it can be a cause for. I mean, it can, yeah, that can be also a sign of depression, right? I mean, have you ever have a case of somebody who will come to you because you feel lonely?
Uh, Loneliness, I've had that. I've had actually people in relationships who feel lonely. And so loneliness is really, again, what you're digesting it as. Some people who have great social lives, they're not in relationships, they don't feel lonely because they're interacting with their friends or relatives on a regular basis. Some people are in committed long-term relationships. They go home to somebody every night and they feel absolutely alone laying next to the bed with someone. So, everybody has a different view of what something is. So it's very interesting to talk to different people and feel like you're in a relationship, you feel absolutely lonely. You're single, you're socializing, and you feel like your friends are the best company that you have right now. And some people can be absolutely by themselves and not feel lonely at all. So it really, again, a lot of it depends on how people think about things and what they're doing after their thoughts.
So let me ask you this: in your training, do you have any experience with trauma?
Yes. So somatic trauma is what I'm trained in. And even with that, I learned people deal with trauma differently. So different clients are going to need different things when it comes to how to work themselves out of trauma. And a lot of it is just actions, it's different actions that different clients take. So someone who has maybe childhood trauma and being abandoned, they are going to need to first recognize what happened. And if they're deciding to relive that trauma in their own actions, because a lot of people can run towards walls or run towards the same situations. And so they're revisiting their trauma.
Right.
So everybody, I mean, I could say this throughout the interview, and I probably will. Everybody's everything is different, and it just really depends on what that client may need. So when it comes to childhood trauma, which we all have in some way, I mean, some
Right.
people are lucky enough to say, "Oh, my childhood was great." Even some people who say their childhood was great, they may, have missed something somewhere. Maybe you were super rich, but you never really understood like what a working job was, and you want that now. So, or you feel like it detached you from reality. So some people just don't get a chance to adjust to their new reality in some way, shape, or form. But childhood follows you through your adult life, period. So a lot of trauma that I see is that inner child that hasn't accepted you can change the way you live your adult life. They're reliving their childhood traumas, and they're not choosing a different adult life to go through day to day.
Absolutely. What a wonderful. This is great. This is great. I'm so glad that somebody like you come on the show, because listen, we need more people like yourself. We are in a community of people that, especially the men, again, we don't like to seek for help. So what we're gonna do very quickly, I'm gonna just go for a quick break. When we come
All
back,
right.
we are here with Miss Smiley. We want everything from you, everything from you. And by the way, If you have a question you want to reach Miss Smiley, the information will be below. We're going to be putting this on the screen so that you can see. Please make sure you call or talk to her because she is actually the real deal. So we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to continue to talk about some of these information that you are giving us right now.
Look, leading can be tough, and leading without support, limited resources, an inexperienced team, all while managing work-life balance is even tougher. This is an exclusive opportunity.
There we go. We are here with Miss Smiley. She is actually a life coach. As you already explained, she's not a therapist. She is a coach. Somebody who will help you to make your life a little bit easier. If you want to be happy, if you want to if you want to have somebody to help you understand and actually go through and beyond some of these problems that you have, I think you should absolutely contact this young lady from Atlanta. ATL in the house. Welcome back, Miss Smiley. Listen. I told you before before the break that it is important for us to really showing up and to tell other people in the community what we do. Because the only way we can work together is to share the information. Because of this technology nowadays, there's no excuse for us to just stick with two people that in your neighborhood. No, we have to go international. And as a matter of fact, right now your stuff are playing everywhere in Africa, in Europe, here in America, in Maryland, in DC, and ATL. By the way, let me congratulate you guys from ATL. You Atlanta. You did make us proud, man. I mean, we have a new president. You did a wonderful job. I have to give you credit. I hope. Did you vote?
I stood in line 4.5 hours with my 5-year-old the first time for the presidency, and I recently did our Senate runoff.
Wonderful. And by the way, there's Maya was complimenting you. I don't know if you know Maya. She said, you look beautiful. And then also another comment. And she was actually saying that whatever you were saying was actually true. So thank you so much. It's Mia. Okay, Maya. Okay, Maya. Maya, thank you so much, Maya, for supporting. That's why we have to do. You have to support, everybody business, and you have to make sure that people thrive in your community. That's absolutely great. What do I do? Yeah, great. So let's come back to Miss Smiley. We're here for business. I know, and part of the question was how long you been doing this, if you don't mind me asking.
I don't mind. So I've been coaching for over a year now.
Okay.
Started a little bit before COVID hit, and just kind of sat back. I did a lot of free sessions when COVID first started, but didn't really launch until this year. A little bit of last year. It's still all new. I think this is the new year though for me.
This is 2021, baby.
Officially today.
Yeah.
Started a little bit before COVID. attempting to launch, but I just held back because I felt nobody knew what was going to happen. So to put a price tag on mental health at that time just wasn't in my heart. Although there is no motion in business, I did do a lot of free sessions and people getting adjusted to the changes, and as we discussed, loneliness and different things of that nature. So this is the picking it back up portion. But I've been doing this my whole life apparently. Just
Yeah,
didn't know.
but I hope, because nowadays most people, the reason why I was asking this question, because most people nowadays, doing this coaching thing. Everybody just, I'm a coach here, coaching this, coaching that. Eventually, a lot of people have skills in a variety of sectors, but you did actually go and get your certificate to do this, right?
I did
You
training, and
did. Oh,
I continuously do training. Anytime I feel like I'm on social media too much, I click over to more training. So there's always a constant um, learning that has to be done, and I'm always curious. And that was one of the other things. I was always just curious about how people thought, why people did what they did, how the body reacts to certain stresses and traumas, and different things. So yeah, I'm always training.
so folks, we are dealing with a certified coach, life coach. There's a lot of coach out there, but not a lot of people actually are certified to do this job. So you want to go to somebody who actually been recognized to do what she is doing. Okay,
And
most of us have skills, but you have to go and try to get your certification so that you become a professional person. You want to add something to that?
Oh no, in the areas that I coach in, I try to stick with things that I've been through myself, like parental loss. No one teaches you how to process through losing a parent, new mom coaching, relationship coaching, teen coaching. I deal with stress, depression, anxiety as well. So, but a lot of what I do is things that I've processed myself through, especially parental loss is a big one that who do grief counseling is one thing, but I learned that it's really important to have conversations with people who have gone through what you're dealing with. And so parental coaching was one of the main things that I wanted to focus on because I had people on my couch over the years dealing with losing their parent or their mom specifically. So I try to stick with in my coaching. Although, like I said, I do depression, I do anxiety, all the basics of a day-to-day stressful life. But I try to stick with the topics that I have processed through myself.
Yeah, but one of the things that usually we talk and then we forget to mention is somebody who's watching right now already. The person have the information, but usually people, they wonder how much this costs, and how
Oh,
this a session look like. Can you break this down a little bit for us and for the viewers?
absolutely. So as of now, I have a $40 first time special. I really recommend that people kind of date their mental health providers in a sense that you go to multiple people and you find one that matches you the best. You may not like how I coach. You may find somebody else that works for you better. You may absolutely like how I coach, and you're comfortable because it is going to be a journey. And I think that it's important that people test and see, do they like working with me or not. As of now, after that, I like to say you get 100% of me under 100. So I like to be a reasonable price, and my prices do change. But first sessions right now are $40, and it's an
Wonderful.
hour session.
Wonderful, wonderful. And I think one of the good thing, and I also do that, is usually I separate my personal page with my
Mm-hmm.
business, and I noticed that you do it the same
Oh yeah,
way. If people, they're watching this, they know this is Miss Smiley, but they probably go on your page and don't see any video about your business. Where do they go if somebody want to go on social media? What's the name of your business? What do you have a page on Facebook? How can people reach out?
absolutely. So you did lovely and put the number below, so people can call me direct. I am also on WhatsApp for anybody anywhere. Unfortunately, I only speak one language. I'm not as beautiful as you to have multiple languages under my belt. But they can reach me on my phone number below, which is 770-410-8863. Again, I am on WhatsApp as well. Confi Life Coaching is on Instagram, and then all my contact information is from there. My website is being built by a wonderful woman right now, so it'll be confilifecoaching.com. Eventually, I think within the next week or so, we're going to launch. But phone number is great. Instagram, Confi Life Coaching. And yeah, you can always just reach out and I respond. So
Wonderful. So you know where to get. There's no more excuses. You know, you have information in here. You have the information. You have the email, and you also have a beautiful page on the Facebook. I saw it,
okay.
which is good. Listen, we're gonna take another quick break. Eventually, when we come back, you know, this time was usually when the conversation is good. The time goes so fast. You know, we're gonna take a quick break. When we come back, we're gonna continue to talk about, you know, some of this stuff that you want to teach us about your profession. Okay.
Fatigué de gérer les ventes en personne? Maintenant, AI.assistant le fera pour vous. L'assistant personnel vous aide à booster vos ventes avec des appels automatiques. C'est comme si vous parliez à de vraies personnes, et cela augmente la confiance du client. AI.assistant peut facilement faire plus de 100 000 appels par jour, et ce n'est pas encore la limite.
There we go. Welcome back. We're here with Miss Smiley. She has a business. Her business is she's a professional coaching, life coaching, and let's make this clear. She's not a therapist, but I bet you, you know, if you suffer from loneliness, anxiety, you don't know what's going on, don't just kill yourself. Go call her and trying to see if how she can help you out. Because especially if you live in ATL in the Atlanta area, and because of this technology nowadays, you know, you can always reach out. Right now, I'm in a DC. She's in the ATL. We see talk. That means you can do this kind of your work even from a long distance. So it doesn't matter where you are, France, Africa, DC, ATL, California. Please make sure that you call my friend. She is a good person. She listen, although she's straight up, but she will listen to you and help you to help yourself. Am I right?
This is absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. And please.
What did I say? Did I say something?
No, you're good. Please call me before you kill yourself. Please.
Yeah, thank you, Teddy. Yeah, Teddy. You know, complimenting you. Hey, listen, we want you to take the number, call her. You know, call her and or share this information with your friend around you. And we want to make sure that whoever have a business, especially this kind of business, if you don't like to go or share your stuff, she will keep your stuff private. You know, and I know that's part of your training, right?
Oh, absolutely. I think people feel a little nervous about what their sessions are going to be like, but it is definitely confidential. I do virtual. So what I like to especially tell my male clients, as you touched on earlier, is that nobody has to know you're having a session. Nobody has to know you're working on yourself. You're feeling however you're feeling. You can take 30 minutes or an hour, sit in the car, go park somewhere, and you just have a session where you're getting things off your chest and you're working things out on your own. I think people always feel like somebody's going to know. Nobody has to know unless you tell them, because I'm not going to tell. And even my male clients, the overall notion that I'm seeing with my male clients is that they have two emotional states, and it's either anger or contentment. And as we have our historic day here, we look back and 66 years ago, Emmett Till was murdered. So a lot of African American DNA in this country is you were not allowed to have emotions at all. So when it comes to my clients, making sure that they're comfortable and they understand. And so we not having emotions, you really didn't say there's something I feel uncomfortable with. So with my clients, yes, there's confidentiality. And if you're uncomfortable with getting the help, again, nobody has to know that you're doing it. And so if you are at that point where you're like, I want to do something different, a lot of African American women don't even recognize that they are depressed. And mental health in the African American community as well is not discussed, or even, sometimes you're shamed. And that happens in a lot of minority communities too. So if you feel like I can't go to my parents, or I talk to my, brother or sister and they'll make fun of me, get help on your own by yourself. Just go on and do it. Just like we're chatting right now. This is pretty much how my sessions go. We back and forth. I add a lot of laughter because I like to laugh. But yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. Listen, it's a lot of stuff that you take care of, and before you even forget, I won't even let you know without bringing you to those issues that you've been dealing with, especially this concept of okay, let's say narcissism. You talk about people who are and I think you were talking to your woman population about dating somebody who's a narcissist. So I want to know a little bit more about that.
No
Your
problem.
expertise on that area. How you can right away, if you're female, how do you know? Because it looks like that kind of people can be also dangerous, according to some of their. Because I kind of watched some of your videos, and I'm like, that thing was kind of coming a little bit often. How do you know somebody who's not a narcissist? So tell us a little bit about that. Take your time and then break it down for the ladies that are watching right now.
Well, I want to be clear. There are female and there are male narcissists.
There we go.
There are both. There are absolutely both. I was lucky enough I still do have a father who's one. Narcissists are unapologetic. They gaslight, and gaslighting is basically someone telling you what you're feeling isn't true or valid. They can be very dismissive to your feelings. They don't. They can pretend to have emotions, but they don't really have a lot of emotions. Empathy is something that they lack. And so they can do something to you and not feel that bad. A lot of them are very promiscuous. They tend to have multiple partners at once. And one thing that I've noticed is that they're on a spectrum. So you can have one that's really, really extreme, and you can have one that's really under the radar a little bit. A lot of them prey upon very kind, very nice people who really do want somebody to love. And so they think that they can heal that hurt in someone. And a lot of narcissists actually have childhood trauma, which I believe causes the brain damage that tends to, I won't say associates with, but that part of their brain that doesn't fire off the empathy, I believe can be affected by the childhood trauma. So a lot of people don't really know what a narcissist is until they have encountered one. And the unfortunate thing is that a lot of people that I deal with, they are not the narcissists, because narcissists feel they are never wrong and much too important to go to any type of mental health reorganizer, any type of mental health professional, because they never want to be told they're the problem. So you'll get someone who is in a relationship, you'll get the narcissistic victim as a client before you'll actually get the narcissist. And so I even had a client that her narcissist trained her to have an issue with cameras, like security cameras. And narcissists actually hate cameras because it records their behavior. But the thing about their behavior is that they never want people to know that's how they're behaving. And so they abuse very quietly. And a lot of times people very close, again, a lot of innocent people who will never turn them in or fight back, that type of thing. And they're almost like walking emotional vampires. So they will suck you dry emotionally, mentally, sometimes financially. And you'll see people even going to drugs after a narcissistic abusive relationship. So I can give
but
you
if you're a woman, I know because I'm trying to get all my questions before the show goes off. if you're a woman, how do you know what are the signs? I know you already started doing this. What are the signs that a woman will, know right away that this man is actually somebody that I have to avoid?
I don't know if it's not always something you can know right away. Correct, Teddy. Manipulation is one, but they don't tend to show those sides of themselves very early on. A lot of times they're very charming in the beginning. So you're almost dealing with this amazing person. You feel like kind of Prince Charming has showed up. But I think when you have that, that's when you need to start to really question. Nobody's that perfect. They present as perfect. It's almost weird. They present as absolutely perfect. A lot of them present to have a lot of money, and that can be a big red flag. They're offering you money very early on in the relationship, even if you don't need it. They're looking to see if you take the bait. A lot of them they move too fast. That's another kind of red flag. They want you as their girlfriend or boyfriend very swiftly. They don't want you talking to other people. They really are a thin line between Mr. or Mrs. Perfect, and that's kind of what gets them to be so good at what they do. They're great actors. A lot of them seem too good to be true. And I guess that's a good way to put it. And that's when you kind of need to slow your roll and really take your time and get to know them. And you'll see little sparks come out. For instance, you can't help who you attract, but you can't help who you entertain. I had one say to me, I can't wait to make money off of you. We were talking about our different businesses. And I was quickly aware that this was a narcissist in that comment. They say little things like that are going to be manipulative or in some way, shape, or form use you later on. They can be very belittling eventually, but they don't always show themselves early on. They really start to show themselves once they got you in some way, shape, or form. So again, the moving too fast can be, oh well, now you live with them, and now they're starting to act not like the Prince Charming that they once were, as the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde type of thing. So it's just very. I have a bunch of videos, as you said, but very tiny little nuances you might see in the beginning that you might brush off as a mood swing or something of that nature. But it's a red flag if you study it enough. And again, I have a lot of videos on my page.
So it looks like, and I'm glad that right away you mentioned the fact that it's not only a masculinity kind of stuff. It's also women also go. So as a man, how do we know that this woman is a narcissist?
Women can be just as manipulative. They seem very charming as well. They can seem very well off, but presenting to have money. Um, they are unapologetic in how they make you feel. Again, that's a big one. They are unempathetic. So men, if you're very kind-hearted, they can take advantage left and right with no remorse. They don't care if they mess you up. They'll call you the next day like nothing happened. They can manipulate you to take care of their kids and again have multiple other people as well. People tend to think narcissism is just someone who likes to look at themselves in the mirror. It's not that simple. And I really recommend everybody doing a lot of research so when you run into one, you know how they are and how they operate.
Is that teasing a male, is that a part of it too? 'Cause some women, they would tease you, and and then the minute you're trying to be interesting, then they back off. Is that part of is that a sign?
No, that's not necessarily a sign of it. They Maya is correct. They do study you. Adjusting, I think a big one is adjusting to who you are can be a red flag for men because I think women who are whole should not be morphing to specifically meet what a man does. But the teasing and backing off could just be a woman being full of it. But most of the narcissistic traits are very similar in not having empathy, not having any remorse. A lot of them can use you for money in the same way, but the abuse is very similar, calling you names, belittling you, things of that, just being very mean and nasty in private, not that, and very charming. Like you'll have a funeral of a narcissist, and the family who really knew them don't care that they died. They're happy. Everybody else is singing their praises because they think that they're the most wonderful people in the world. So they wear a mask to other people, but they're, if you ask me specifically what they do to guys, they're terrible in private, abusive.
So they're a master of disguise, huh?
Very much so. And again, great actors. Great actors.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing.
It is.
It's a dangerous world we're living in, right?
It is. I mean, it's a couple different differences between a sociopath and a narcissist. So narcissists are here. Sociopaths are about one step up. So it is a very abusive relationship once you've met one and you're interacting with one and you've been bamboozled by one.
In your practice, can you help somebody, somebody who actually recognized that, I'm probably a narcissist, and I might seek some help? Do you send that person to a therapist, or you can help that person? I know that kind of tough though, trying to put you on the spot right there.
Well, the full-blown answer is there's no particular helping a narcissist. There's no per se cure. No one's made a medication the way that they have for depression. It is literally parts of their brain that just lack empathy, and the way that they view the world is very skewed. So they feel entitled to certain things. Narcissists can get a little bit better in certain areas, but not majorly. There's no healing them. So I see a lot of couples and they're trying to bring their narcissistic partner in for help. And I won't say it's a waste of time, but you're not going to get that person to change. And so even me as a coach, I can spend my time, but there are not going to be a lot of significant changes with a narcissist because they don't see anything particularly wrong with their behavior.
Absolutely. But they nevertheless, they can be loving too, right? Beside you mentioned lack of empathy, but people cannot just be one. Cannot be just one. This all many sides of people, and usually it can be. Can you do you believe that can be caused by past situation that somebody live, or this is just a behavior that people develop as they grow up? Do you think the lack of empathy can be tied to your past? You're not feeling some remorse for people. Can be the fact that you were maybe abused in the past. Can we separate the two? The fact that some people don't care anymore. You see a young woman that was abused when she was younger, and she'll grow up to don't care about men. Is that something that you do? You see what I'm coming?
Yeah, no, I got in line. So if I'm understanding you right, I'm more than sure that I am. There's a difference between people who are hurt and functioning in a place of hurt, who are actually, they have empathy, and a narcissist. So there is a part of the narcissistic brain where empathy is held that doesn't work the same. So it's a narcissistic personality disorder. So there's a difference in being a bit forgetful and having Alzheimer's. And so people tend to, that particular thinking is why a lot of people think they can help narcissists get better. And so they have to be diagnosed, but you're not going to get a lot of narcissists to go to therapy to get diagnosed. And so people think that they're just dealing with someone who is just hard to love or just needs a little bit more love. And they look up 4 or 5 years later, they're depleted emotionally, and they realize this person is not changing. And what the narcissist would do is just find somebody else, someone who might be hurt after a breakup and maybe not so trusting, but still that part of their brain who has empathy is going to they can get some healing, to answer your question. That type of person, yes, they can get better. Like I said, there's a difference between just, oh, I'm a little forgetful, I'm getting a little foggy, maybe I'm getting older, and really actually having Alzheimer's, which is damage to the brain. And so when we talk about narcissism, I think a lot of people are still hoping for the best, but if you're not very aware of what they are, and how they work, you're going to be really trying to heal someone who will only replace you once you leave them with someone who's not familiar with how neglectful or abusive they are, because it is a disorder.
Absolutely, disorder. So, what would be your advice for somebody, for a woman that officially know that is dating or starting to see some? Because you give a lot of advice. Somebody watch your video and then find out, oh, you know what? Snap! Thank you so much, Miss Smiley. Now I realize this man is a narcissist. So, what can that person do at that moment? Do you just back off, run away, or do you suggest any type of, what can that person do? If you live, I don't know if your own life, you probably, for you to have this kind of experience, you probably already have some, this kind of people in your way. So, what will be your advice, to people who deal with that kind of,
Some
behavior?
of some of them have to actually make escape plan, because it can be very dangerous to leave a narcissist
Mm,
times. And so, run is usually the overall phrase, but some people have to be very strategic in how they get away. I know moms who have taken their kids and have gone into hiding because they know that they'll be followed or stalked, or, they're, because narcissists never feel like you're supposed to leave them alone. So when you
mm,
finally decide to, they have a narcissistic injury, and then they can go into a narcissistic rage. And a lot of their behavior escalates. So they can start to become stalkers, and they can start to become abusive if they weren't already abusive. So if you are actually ready to leave, because most people in abusive relationships return an average of 7 times, if
mm,
you are actually ready to leave, and be cautious that you are ready before you start calling on your friends and family to be involved, because they're going to try to have your back. But if you're ready to go back to that abuse, you're really wasting everybody's time. But if you're ready to actually leave, make an action plan to do so, whatever that looks like. If it's starting to work from home during the hours that they're not there, so you can save your money. If it's calling, a friend or family for some help so you can leave while they're gone. If it is an amicable split, they probably have already placed you with someone anyway. But yeah, make the safest action plan that you can to leave, because they are not going to change.
yeah,
There you
thank you so much. I say your good thing is talking about well explained. That means they really like what you're saying. Listen, thank you, Teddy, for your participation. I want to say this. The show is actually 45 minutes. We're already, at 48. It means that whatever you're saying is pretty good, and I can get enough of it. If you have a conclusion, if you have something, if you want to say something to the people that are watching you right now, that need to know what you do, what will be that conclusion that you want to give as people watching right now?
Well, before I forget, I definitely have a book on Amazon called A Father's Gun. So I wrote it for fathers. I also wrote it for daughters, any age for both, so you can kind of understand the father and daughter relationship. I think men go at having daughters by just buying a gun, and
So,
that's it.
so
But
Miss
that
Molly,
that book,
on this, on Facebook, what you have to
mhm.
do is just write that name, because all of these comments gonna be there. So
Okay.
for my viewers and your viewers, please, whenever you have a chance, even after this show, make sure that you comment what is here on Facebook or on YouTube, so that people can follow up on that, because that's very interesting. Go ahead.
Definitely. Um, And well, besides the book, I just want people to feel more comfortable seeking help. Everybody has a bad day, even if you're pretty happy in your life. I think everybody gets overwhelmed at points, everybody gets stressed at points. People get suicidal, but it's not necessarily that they want to kill themselves. They just don't want to feel the way that they feel. And again, I'll state, you have your thoughts. And then after you have your own thoughts, you have the feelings from those thoughts. So I really love the term mental reorganizer. That's what I do. And if there is something I can help you with, please just reach out, give me a call. I love my clients. So you don't have to suffer or have a bad day on your own.
Absolutely. Now you have a shoulder like where you can go and cry. That it's beautiful to know that you have a shoulder where you're gonna go and talk about your issues. But don't forget to pay because time is money. Time is absolutely money. Don't just waste somebody's time. If you value whatever somebody's doing, you have to be able to say thank you because that person is using valuable time to help you out. So that concludes our show for today. Is Tuesday, the one of the best Tuesday in America. It's the inauguration of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, and we're gonna just close this day today with Miss Smiley, wonderful, intelligent, a black woman who's doing great stuff in Atlanta, Georgia. So listen, this is it. I want to thank you for coming. Just tell everybody around you about Uncle Malik. I'm here. If you have something to say, stop by, come talk to me. Our job is to promote, small businesses, politician, education. That's what we do all day. So please just tell everybody around you, and we look forward to probably speak to you again because I want to read that book though, the book that you have on. That's a pretty good conversation to have next time you will come around. So we look forward to speak with you again. I gotta go and celebrate today
You
inauguration.
stay fun. You have
All
a
right, my
day fun.
friend. Thank you so much.
All
Bye
right,
then.
bye bye.